Level 1, the nobody. You don't apply for this job. There's no posting, no recruitment office, no career fair. You arrive at this profession the way water arrives at the lowest point in a landscape, by following the path of least resistance downhill. You grow up in proximity to violence, a neighborhood where it's ambient, a family where it's structural, a country where it's economic. You're not a psychopath, not yet. Maybe not ever. Most contract killers aren't. Criminologists at Birmingham City University studied 27 confirmed cases in the United Kingdom and found that the typical hitman is not a detached predator from a film. He's an ordinary man from a disadvantaged background who drifted into crime and discovered that the willingness to do what other criminals won't do has market value. You start small: debt collection, intimidation. You break a man's fingers in a car park behind a pub because someone paid you £500 to deliver a message about money owed. You discover something about yourself in that car park, not that you enjoy it, that you can do it and then eat dinner afterward, that the act doesn't follow you home, that whatever mechanism exists in most people that connects violence to distress is either absent or damaged in you, and you don't know which, and you don't care. Because the distinction is academic when the result's the same. You are 22 years old, you have no qualifications, you have no legitimate employment history. You have a reputation in a very small circle of men who operate outside the law as someone who is reliable, who doesn't talk, who doesn't panic, and who doesn't flinch when the situation escalates beyond what was planned. That reputation is the only curriculum vitae you will ever need. It is also the only one that matters because the people who will eventually hire you don't read paperwork. They read behavior. And yours says capable. Level 2, the novice. The first job comes through a man you've worked for before. Debt collection, security, enforcement. He doesn't use the word kill. He says a problem needs to go away. He says a name and a location and an amount. The amount is £5,000. You accept because the amount is more than you've earned in any 3 months of your life, and because saying no to this man carries its own risks, and because somewhere in the architecture of your decision-making, the line between breaking someone's hand and ending their life has been eroded by increments so small that you can't identify when the crossing happened. The target is a man who owes money to people who have exhausted every other method of recovery. You don't know the full context. You don't ask. Asking questions is the first thing that gets a novice killed. You use a firearm because 80% of contract killings involve firearms, and because proximity is risk and distance is safety. You park on a residential street at 6 a.m. and wait for him to leave his house, and you shoot him as he walks to his car. 2 shots. You drive away. The whole thing takes 11 seconds. The first thing you notice is how ordinary the world looks afterward. Traffic moves. A woman walks her dog. The sun is in the same position it was 15 seconds ago. Nothing has changed except that a man is dead on his driveway, and you are driving the speed limit with 5,000 pounds in your pocket, and a heartbeat that is elevated but manageable. You go home. You eat. You sleep. You wake up the next morning, and the mechanism inside you that you discovered in the car park confirms itself. The act did not follow you home. You are a killer now. The word feels neither heavy nor light. It just is. Level 3, the enforcer. You don't work freelance, not at this level. You work for an organization, a crime family, a drug network, a cartel if you're in Mexico or Colombia, where the economics are different and the volume is industrial. In the UK or Australia or the United States, you're attached to a crew. You are their instrument of final resolution. When negotiation fails, when threats fail, when broken bones fail, they send you. The work is infrequent, 2 or 3 jobs a year. The rest of the time you're on retainer, which means you are available and invisible. You don't socialize with the crew publicly. You don't attend meetings. You don't touch the drugs or the money. Your only function is the function nobody else can perform, and the organization protects you because you are difficult to replace. The pay increases. £10,000, £15,000, £20,000 for a job that requires more planning or carries more risk. A target who is himself connected. A target who has security. A target who must disappear entirely, which means the body cannot be found, which means disposal becomes as important as the killing itself. You learn the craft by doing it and by not being caught. Counterforensics, how to avoid CCTV corridors in urban environments, how to acquire untraceable weapons, stolen, filed serial numbers, purchased from sources who don't ask questions and won't remember your face, stolen vehicles picked up from long-term car parks where the owner won't notice for days, burner phones, purchased with cash from different shops in different towns and used once and snapped in half and dropped in separate bins. You study the target's pattern of life the way a surveillance operative would. When does he leave home? When does he arrive at work? What route does he drive? Where does he eat? Where is he alone?